G'day, welcome back to my string challenge through Corp as we attempt to connect every city in the world in one painfully long string. So we are now looking at next connections once we start to actually move. Oh, there we go. Alright, so today we're going to go stand crazy. We're going to bring in these four guys here. So we're going to start off with Turkmenistan. I have read about holidays that go through the 5 stands here. 6 stands. 5 stands. 5 stands. Technically, you could go to Afghanistan and Pakistan while you're at it. So you could make it 7. I think that's all of them, right? I'm missing a stand. I think that's all of them. Alright, so we'll start to join them. The other thing I wanted to do in this one was have a look at what we've now got as red cities through here. I kind of want to give them a brief moment to correct because we did have some sort of glitches in the last one. Once I start to add new cities, the routes of everyone gets confused, and sometimes people will just sit down in an airport and they won't continue on. So we do need to give them a little bit of breathing space for the correct cities to be identified as the ones that are problem children. Now let's have a look. In here, one suggestion I was given was that the cities northeast of Tehran should add the cities to the northeast of Tehran to the long string east of them. So to here. So instead of going out this way and back, they actually just join in here. Not bad. I think that what we need is just one more city in here. If we can get a second city in Turkmenistan, we can jump up and out, or we can connect these guys in here. Really what we want is another city somewhere here in Iran so that we can make this route short, because that's the one long route in this section that's probably given us grief. But let's let Turkmenistan go nice and slowly here. We'll leave him for a little bit before we bring in someone else. And let's have a look at what cities are causing us grief. So we'll start off by upgrading him a little bit. I would say this one is a pretty obvious candidate for a 300-seater because that is quite a long route. A lot of these I feel like you can just look at one side of it and go, well, assumably it's going to be that side, for example, that's causing this guy problems. I mean, he should already be able to sort of take care of that. All of these are in a little bit of a struggle. I don't know why. I mean, you can see there's such short legs here, and that's short legs. So potentially, it's just these are hitting. But if that was the case, then I would have thought there would be a backup of passengers in these two airports, because these are the sort of long routes that's already kicking into. Here we can definitely see some long routes that we can give them a few 300-seaters. Guy's already got 3 planes on it, so he should be moving better. And he's only yellow. I think you can see there that yellow sort of kicks in very early. Like there's nothing wrong with the layout there. We don't want to do a PR campaign. I think we're going to get less money than what we'd have to spend on it at this stage. So a new city came in. It wasn't in Turkmenistan. It was over here in the Ukraine. Dunsk. Well, like I said, we've got so much money at this stage that we'll see a new city jack up the value of everything around in that city. Not the case here, though. We're going to leave him. We'll upgrade him. But basically, it's because I don't want to cause the whole map to start to freak out again with this guy. So I don't know why this guy is struggling so much. Those two routes look almost exactly the same length. I want to assume it's this side of it. So we're just going to give him a 100-seater for now to see if that corrects it. Because we don't want that problem to just sort of get pushed onto the next guy. We want someone that's just going to minorly correct that. Stockholm also looking pretty poor, and again on a very short route. So we'll just go the 100-seater for him too. This is what I mean. Like, all of these red cities don't look so out of place because the routes don't look that long. Potentially a small plane like a 100-seater is enough to sort of offset the loss we've got going here. Again, these are... It's not that big a route, so I guess this guy's got 3 planes on it, so he's pushing hard onto this one. So let's go the 300-seater that's on this one, let's make him 500, and then we'll make this guy 300. And then we'll hope that this guy can handle that. We'll see if we've just sort of pushed that problem along a little bit. This guy here, I assume it's going to be this side, so we'll give him a 100-seater as well. Oh, we lost some music there. Can I kill the music? I don't think we've had this before. And we're back. It did ask me to end the process, kill the game, but I luckily avoided that, so I didn't have to lose that save of that 7 minutes of work I guess I'd put in. Just for good measure, we'll save there though, just in case that does return on us. Okay, so this guy here is yellow. We'll eventually that's going to move to slightly worse, and it's got to be slightly because this Europe's been sort of like going full speed for a while now, so I can't imagine that if it's going to go, it would have gone a long time before this. So we might just chuck in some very little planes to try and help out on these ones. I assume he's also going the same way. Brussels is his top guy. So where's Brussels sitting? Not that far away. I mean, in terms of city having a population issue, like especially in Europe, it feels like that's the first time, or apart from London, it's the first time I've seen Brussels as one that's come up there. Now, very easily, this issue is now just going to sort of push along to all of these. So I'm going to give him an upgrade to a 400-seater to try and like alleviate the end of this route, and then we'll give all of these guys 100-seaters to try and move it along, because it's more... All of these guys are going to just need to contribute. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too much heading that east at the moment. And interestingly, all of this... Bogota. Okay. Not know what continent that one was on. So a lot of this is all heading that same one direction. This guy here, I don't think there's anything we can do. He's... Well, I mean, I think there's probably one thing that we can do to give him a little bit of help. Same thing we can do for this guy. Did Portugal get hit with a... Normally agree to the ones that implode all my airports. That's a real shame, because I would have been losing, I assume, a lot of passengers that would have been getting all the way to Portugal and then disappearing because they were landing major planes in a small market. Well, at least we know what the problem was there. Hopefully they live happily ever after. Alright, so let's look at... no, actually, let's do our next stand-in. So again, the next city has come in Ukraine. That one we're probably going to connect to that side of the world. So let's get Tajik. That's sound. So it's a Taji, Kiss. No, that's Stan. So that's, we know that's Stan. So that's Ki. Tajikistan. Tajikistan. I don't know why, but I don't have to say that one anywhere near as much as the rest of these that I feel like I hear a lot more often. Alright. my one of my co-workers, she's Russian, and she would occasionally say to me the name of the city that she was from, and she primarily would speak in Russian socially when speaking back to people at home, or like I've seen her keyboard and it's got Russian characters on it as well as English characters. And so when she says the name of her city to me, and I have to try and say, oh, I wonder if I can look that up, and I have to try and spell a word that she is saying with a strong Russian accent in which would also be the city that she has said her entire life, so she says it with such a rolling speed that I definitely never had a chance, until luckily she was flying home, and I caught a glimpse of her plane ticket, and I was like, alright, I'm just saying the name of the city over and over again in my head. So I'm like spelling it out in my head over and over again, because it was the only way I was going to retain it. Have you read before? And again, you're just small plane on that one. Birmingham. Which way is... Birmingham is this way, isn't it? Straight up. I don't remember which way the route goes. Sometimes a challenge. Ah, god damn this. Alright, so we got Mexico, Manchester. So again, that's all heading that same one direction, which is this way. So what we might do is we'll up that guy to a 500-seater. What has he got? 3 planes? So that'll be why. So we'll just see if the upgrade of that one plane is what helps him out. Again, he's going to be this side. That's a long enough route that we can give him a 300-seater. But down here, he's going to Los Angeles. So he is north. Give him a 300-seater. This guy will... I'm going to give him a 100-seater so he can keep to moving. You can see there's 2 planes on this route, so that's where the logjam's actually happening here. So let's give him the 300, and we'll give this guy a 400. Try and see if we can shift that on, and then this is a very short route there, so hopefully he can take care of a lot of this. Not hard to guess which side of this route is the one that's struggling. Again, that's all that same one direction. I mean, there's 2 planes on that lower route, so unsurprisingly, he's the one that's struggling. Give him 100. Most of this I can just assume it's probably the side that's heading towards the Americas that's got a problem. I can give them 100 seaters without really looking into it too hard. Let's just upgrade him as well. Won't bring another guy in just yet. I mean, not that bringing him in really has any impact at this time. Just like to give him a moment to shine, but I mean, all of Turkmenistan's glory is going to Ukraine anyway. Which is interesting. I don't feel like I've ever seen that before. That normally it would give me a whole bunch of cities in the newest open city, newest open country before it sort of shifts back to someone else. So maybe I should stop connecting these Ukrainian cities while more and more continue to join us. Alright, this one we can assume it's going to be the south. That's the problem. I mean, is that just a tiny little plane that we've got on that route? That definitely could cause him some issues. It's funny because I guess that both of those are busy because it's just the passengers are all just on the wrong side of that connection. That one we can assume it's going to be the longer flight. Assume it's the way that's towards the Americas. Still, it's this side. We'll give you a 300-seater to complement the other two. Although, if that 400-seater's coming out here, 500-seater, we'll make him a 500, and we'll make that guy the 500. So 600, and we'll make him a 500. So those two are offset. And then we'll give this guy a little help. And that guy can have even less help. Does that guy got 2 planes? Is that what I saw? No. Assume it's the one. There's definitely going to be a point once India... I mean, India is open, and China are both sort of operating on that other side, that we're going to see a lot of planes needing to go the other direction. And we should see all sorts of new congestion, because we're right there. We're against China here. Bring in Uzbekistan. I'm surprised to see that someone like this is already struggling. But I guess that we're it's already just such a defined long route that it can't cope. Some of these are quite clear that they're going to be problems. All right, so where are we looking at? What was our first one? Turkmenistan. Assume it's going to be this side of that one. Turkmenistan. So first off, it's not the Republic of or anything. It is just straight out Turkmenistan. The Caspian Sea to its west. So that's what this is, if you're curious. If you didn't know. If you only know Caspian as a band. Or as a Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe character. Prince Caspian, isn't it? And look. Yes, that's the one that we want to do, because this is where our billionaire gives us lots of money. Uzbekistan actually gave us the second city. Leapfrog these two. Lovely flag for Turkmenistan, very green heavy. Population 5.6 million. So they've already got 2 planes, but it is still... There we go, so you can see we've just gotten 1.3 million for that one. It's always worthwhile. This guy's still struggling hard. We'll, up what we've given him. Might give him the 3rd plane too. Don't actually have a connection between Turkmenistan and Tajikistan. And they're officially the Republic of Tajikistan, so there you go. They felt the need to specify. Largest city is Dushanbe, I guess also its capital. I find it so fascinating that these countries share a border with China. I mean, I realize that they've got their different peoples in that sort of northwest China that definitely hard done by. So I guess that sort of makes sense. What do we got? They have a bit more of a standardy looking stripes flag with a picture in the middle. Are they the really weird wealthy one? Who's that? The one that sort of is a kingdom. I mean, obviously it's not them because they've got a republic, but I thought someone had a lot of money, spends big. They're a hard one to get into, and you've got to sort of really follow the rules. Population 9 million. Tajikistan. No, that's wrong. I didn't put that extra I in there. Istan. No, I did say Istan. Okay. I apologize for anyone watching from Tajikistan or who can pronounce it and has had to listen to me mispronounce it over and over and over and over again. We can jump to Uzbekistan, who are also the Republic of Uzbekistan. Doubly landlocked country. Doubly landlocked. What does the phrase doubly landlocked mean? A country is doubly landlocked or double landlocked when it is surrounded only by landlocked countries. So, I guess that must be to an ocean, because obviously it doesn't get to the Caspian Sea, but then it doesn't connect to Russia, so it's missing out on that. This is part of the ocean here, so it doesn't get that. So it is none of these guys, all of these countries are also landlocked, so it is doubly landlocked. There are only 2 countries in the world that are doubly landlocked. I will give you a moment to think about who the other one is. Before I let you know. And while we're thinking on that, we'll open up Kyrgyzstan. Let's go this through. There's no vowels in here, so these Y's are I's. Kyrg is. So where I'm sort of saying I for this and using this as sort of like a Istan, it almost feels like that's what this is here, so it's Kyrgyzstan. Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. Probably not. My track record would indicate that way. Have a quick look south down here. Did I already give him extra help? No. Let's go back up this way. Let's zoom in here. And over here to Switzerland and Austria, and right in the middle here is Liechtenstein. Not appearing on this map, but he is the only other doubly landlocked country in the world. Liechtenstein is between Austria and Switzerland, so doesn't touch Italy, and both Austria and Switzerland are landlocked as well. So Liechtenstein and Uzbekistan, the only 2 doubly landlocked countries in the world. Mentioned in the last episode, Artsakh, which was in... Was that mentioned in the last one? No. Sorry, that was a different one. There is a de facto state called Artsakh, which is, yeah, entirely surrounded by Azerbaijan, which we did talk about in that last episode. They, in here, it's looking over in Ukraine and Azerbaijan. Might have not been the last episode then if it was Azerbaijan, that would have been 2 ago. Arguably they're double landlocked as well, because Azerbaijan's landlocked and it's completely surrounded by that. But there you go. Sorry, back on track. Uzbekistan, doubly landlocked. Surrounded by 5 landlocked countries. The Uzbek language is the majority spoken language in Uzbekistan. Islam is a dominant religion. They have an interesting flag as well with a lot of stars on it. I wonder what all their stars represent. And our population is 95 million. Getting a little bit bigger there. So we have 12 stars on the Uzbekistan flag. The crescent moon. What do our 12 stars represent? 12 stars of the flag are arranged in such a way that visually they form the inscription Allah in Arabic script. Maybe that's it. I mean, I wouldn't have picked that. I suppose they do, but they're very much in a grid. I assume this side is the one that needs help here. And then to finish off the set, this one and let it run, so that we are... There's only so much we can stand, and I can't stand no more. Kazakhstan. It's a transcontinental country. Obviously, what we learnt before is that means, I guess, it's a little bit in Asia, a little bit in Europe. Borders Russia to the north, China to the east. It's got a lot of neighbors. Coastline along the Caspian Sea. Its capital is Astana. Was that one that was different? In one of my early videos, I think someone made the comment that Kazakhstan had the wrong capital, or that the capital changes in... There we go. That's right, it reminded me. Its capital is Astana, known as Nur Sultan from 2019 to 2022. Nur Sultan, I think, was, if you go back and watch my earlier videos, is what it was named. That name does sound familiar, because I had a lot of traffic disastrously charging through it. They have a pretty flag too. Nice blue, light blue and yellows. Also has Islamic population of 20 million. I mean, not that I would claim to know a lot about the stands, but I would not have picked that Uzbekistan had a larger population than Kazakhstan. But yeah, there was a trip I was looking at that I think went through the 5, and it seems really interesting because there's such different characteristics of those 5 countries that in Kazakhstan, I think you could go and see the Russian space program. One of the 5 of them, I can't remember which, is very controlled by the state, and you've got to have like a proper in guide in there. And one of them's got that the gate to hell. I'm not sure if you've seen it. The sort of the pit that sort of constantly has fire going in it, as well as old ruins. It's obviously also part of the Silk Road. Yeah, definitely. I think something that would be neat to see if we get the chance. So Athens is having issues going to London. So which direction is London from there? Is it north? Yes. So north out of Athens. I mean, probably the length of the 2 routes leading from Athens. We could assume that was the problem one. Get that guy upgraded. Let's get this one an extra plane before that becomes a problem. This guy an extra plane. It's already become a problem. I said we won't worry about the extra Iranian cities just yet. We've got this guy here. Barcelona. And again, it's all heading to New York. I feel like the amount of money that I'm making has slowed down a little bit. Like, I realize that I've made, like, I've bought 5 cities in this one. 5 countries, sorry. But they're only $1 million each. I've also gained $1 million in this one from the charity. And to remember that I gained $100 million in about half an hour, which is where this all came from, it definitely doesn't feel like I'm 100 million in half an hour sort of levels again. We have a lot of people moving around in this network. I would love to know how many people are currently en route to where they're going. So it would be shocking. Would be the way to describe it. I suppose we've got to do something here. I mean, nothing about these sort of jumps out to be why would they be doing so badly. These guys are a couple of 300 seaters to try and push people around. And these guys are definitely happy down the bottom here. I mean, how many people can really be moving through the bottom? These guys can hold 6,000, but how many people are going all the way to Port Stanley just to say they made it to the end of the line? Because, I mean, I mean, at best, you would do 2 trips in your life, no matter where you lived in the city. You would possibly do one where you're heading west, and then you do one where you're heading east. Give that guy a few extra levels so we can complain a little bit longer in peace. It's amazing that in San Jose there's not that many people going to Los Angeles. You would have thought that that's sort of like the final rung that they would get to before That would be clear. But everyone's actually heading north. We're actually finally at a point where we're beyond everyone heading west at this point. Let's see if we can clean up Sacramento a little bit. Reno or something in here, that would be a nice sort of connector to join up a bit of that. Freaking out again. Yeah, we made it. Alright, let's rejoin these Iranian cities. Let's think about the route that we've got here. I suppose we want to... Well, I suppose we get rid of that one. And then we swing down, and then we hope this route sort of swings away from Dunsk, so... Good, so they don't cross, and then have him swing up. I mean, like I said, these could potentially mess with the people moving around, but we're close enough to the end here that save and load will take place before another episode. So what we're attempting to work towards at the moment is we basically want to have everyone clear for getting China in. We want to give China a little bit of room to build. So what I'll do is we might do one more where we start to connect the cities of, we can sort of see a pattern of where we need to run through here. Kazakhstan's northern city there is going to be a pain to have to connect to. It'll depend on what we've got sort of on this Russian border. I would say what we want to do is we want to get the Southeast Asia in, and then we'll bring in China, and then I'll do a record, like just let the game run and see if we can fill out the cities of the stands of East Asia, East Europe, Southeast Asia, and China, and then we can come back and sort of see how those all join. And then what we want to do is we'll grab the Koreas and Japan and Mongolia, and then we'll bring in Russia, and we'll let it run to see how Russia extends out. And then we will go down and grab out the last little bit of Oceania, and we will never pick up the French Southern and Antarctic lands, because it'll be the last man standing. But I'm tempted after that to remove everything off the map and then just try and build it as a, like we can see that the question here was, could you build a string challenge that actually would make an efficient line that would run? And the answer is yes. About 1/3 of the way through, for about 3 minutes, it was efficient. But apart from that, probably not. But then the fun thing will be, like, well, using that same game board and having everything already unlocked, can I make this an efficient route? Like, what is the most efficient way to make everything join and work? And I think that'll be some fun to try out. So that might be the final step after we'll definitely want to have enough money to make sure. And what doesn't mean, though, that if I have to delete every single route, I get to count every single route, and I can tell you how many cities there are, and try and math out how long it would have taken to actually get all the way through this this connection. That is a nice get of a city there, because it does mean that we can cut this one in half. I mean, the way that we've got Ukraine connected might not make a whole lot of sense anyway. It depends on where we get one more Ukrainian city, I would say. You can see that we could connect these two cities here, and then if we had, say, a Ukrainian city in this region here, or maybe in here, we can have them bounce into Ukraine, do this loop of Ukraine and Moldova, and then swing back up and out, and then we can just, like, cut this off here, and we separate Romania from the stuff northeast of it. But we'll see. I mean, we're still getting Ukrainian cities, so it is possible. Anyway, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Till next time, catch you later. See ya.